Good evening, traders. Welcome to the New York close. Today's market was driven mainly by micro fundamentals and earning. As you know, this it's earning seasons, so the market was moved mainly by fundamentals and earnings, especially from the tech and the banking sector. I'll be breaking down what really moved the Wall Street and what has been happening in the JSE market today. So we'll start with it, and I hope you'll like and subscribe as we move along. And before we go to day trading, let's speak about everything that happened today. And let's start, guys. Okay, traders, as we get to it, uh, here we go. Okay, let's start. So today in the JSE, we have five top gainers and five top losers. On the top gainers, as it's not a surprise, we have Bitcop operation, which is up 2.58%. Reinet investment, it's up 2.45%. British American tobacco, something that we can look into and focus into. It's up 2.44%. And the reason being that it's up 2.44%. The news in the British American investment tobacco, it was mainly driven by the news that they might stop producing their cigarettes in South Africa because the illicit cigarettes in South Africa, they are taking their market share. But for some reason, it reacted positively into the market. But the last two, we have Sanlam, we have MTN Group, which is they are up 2.27% and 2.26% respectively. On the top loser side, we have Sasol, which is down 5.25%, which we'll speak about and look at the technicals of it. Interestingly, Sasol yesterday was up 2.5, I think 5 point something percent, and today's down. It has lost all the gains that it's made yesterday. We have Process, which is down 3.89%. Nespa is down 3.5%. Exaro is down 1.4%, and Mond is down 1.22%. And on the most active stocks for today, we have Old Mutual topping the chart with 15 million activeness, and FirstRand is up 10 million for today, with Growth Point as every day is one of the most traded stocks in the JSE. Moving along, when we have to look at the most active ETFs, let's see if ABSA is still one of the most traded one. Yes, I think ABSA Capital New Wave Silver has been doing great. Um, it's one of the most traded ETFs lately. But talking about the JSE market and how it reacted today, as I said earlier, let's look at the technical first of Sasol before we go to the next thing that has been happening in the JSE market before we go to the New York Stock Exchange. Let's start with the technical of Sasol. Then there's nothing much to speak about Sasol besides the fact that all the gains it made yesterday, it has lost it all. As I said earlier, yesterday it was up 5%, today's down 5%. It has lost all the gains, but it doesn't take out the fact that the target now for me, if I were to buy the Sasol, I will look into adding more position at when Sasol it's 101 rand 0.57 rand per share, and the target for now for the first quarter will be 128 rand 82 cents per share. That's what will be our target for Sasol. There is still a good buy for long term because overall, Sasol is coming from 600 rand per share, so there's still more ground to cover, and I don't think Sasol it's gonna go underneath. But let's continue at what was happening in the JSE. In the JSE, we have our famous we have our famous Mr. Price. So Mr. Price is being making headlines for the fact that it decided to tap into the European market, and it said that in this article that we are looking at, it's saying Mr. Price in hot water for 10 billion European gamble, which the shares are taking a hitting from that. They've lost a lot of money in the European market. It's not doing as well as they anticipated, like your Woolworth that did well previously in Australia, but Mr. Price, it was not to follow suit in that category of Woolworth. But let's look at the technicals of Mr. Price and see how bad are they doing. Maybe if we're to say Mr. Price will recover from these losses, where are we going to look into adding more shares in Mr. Price or in buying Mr. Price? Here we go. So speaking about Mr. Price, as I was saying about Mr. Price, and remember, oh shucks, remember November 2025, Mr. Price had earnings which beat expectation by 5%, but from then it also paid out dividends for 323 on the 15th of December. So those holding Mr. Price, I think they did well there, English. But when you look at Mr. Price from when they stepped into the European market from the December 5th until today, Mr. Price, it's down 25%, which is very terrible for Mr. Price going into, because normally retailers are doing well in the December month, but this time around, because of their taste in the European market and not going well, Mr. Price, it's it's not doing well. It's down, as I said, now 25%. But on the technical side, I think now it's the right time to buy Mr. Price. I think it is holding good support in the weekly time frame, holding support. So if you look into buying Mr. Price and you still believe that there is no longer going short for Mr. Price, or there's no longer possibility of going lower, you could attempt to buy Mr. Price. But for me, I'm staying out of it for now until I start to see good rejection to the upside and recovery in Mr. Price and the macros change of Mr. Price and the perspective in general of investors to change their view about Mr. Price. So that was the JSE today. Um, so moving into really most of the important things that happened in the big macro that happened in the New York Stock Exchange. We can start with that and speak about it before we look for technicals and look at the setups that we might have in the coming weeks. So as I said earlier, we all know it's as I said earlier on the intro that it's ending season. And if you look at the article on your screen now, it says U.S. stocks rise after solid banks earning and Iran tensions. And I think one of the beneficiaries of that, it is Nasdaq, and I think it's Nasdaq, which is up almost 0.9%, and Russell, which is up 1.25% for today with good banks earnings. Let's look at the earnings, and we're just going to focus mainly on Goldman Sachs, which we're just going to look at the technicals, and Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Those are the two companies that we'll look into, but they had positive earnings. So let's just quickly look at Morgan Sachs. Oh, come on. Mm. Okay, Morgan Stanley is the first one. Look at that. as I said, Nasdaq has has mostly benefited from the earnings for Goldman for the banking sector. And the first one that we're going to look at the technicals and speak about the expectation was Goldman Sachs, which did extremely well today in the earnings. They did beat expectation, and as expected, Goldman Sachs for today it's up 5% after the announcement of the earnings. We move to Goldman Sachs. I was speaking about Morgan Stanley, sorry. Now we'll move into Goldman Sachs and just really look into how they performed and look at the technicals, the reaction on the market. Goldman Sachs, it's up 4% after earnings announcement. So those are stocks that did well, and Nasdaq has benefited from such a move. Speaking of Nasdaq, speaking sorry about that, I have kids around. Sorry. Speaking of Nasdaq, Nasdaq it's up 1.2% from the earning, benefiting from Goldman Sachs and Stanley, the banking sector mainly, because yesterday it was down almost 1.5% as well. So we have recapitalized all the losses that Nasdaq went down by yesterday. And then all the other stuff that could have potentially moved the market, we know what Trump has been doing. Um, hold on, just quickly do this. Also, Etika's TSMC earnings reset the AI narrative after rotation fears hit tech stocks. Remember, remember that China announced that they will be reducing their orders of stocks from America, but it looks like the TSMC earnings was good, and that also benefited Nasdaq in terms of earnings. So I do like that as well. And what's happening here? Uh, Pardon my camera. I think it's a bit slow today. Okay. Oh. As I said, we spoke about all those things. And as I was saying, so the criminal charges into the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, still continues. Criminal investigation into Fed chair Powell has reinforced concerns over independence of Goldman Sachs. Uh, what over independence? Oh, oh Christ, I read this wrong. Oh, wow. Criminal investigation into Fed chair has reinforced concerns over independence of the Fed, definitely. Goldman Sachs has warned as the dollar weakens as it happens. But remember, we have been we have been getting news lately coming through the market, which we'll speak about in a short while now. So we've already spoken about the rebound of investors as they look into chips market, which is TSMC. Today, on the flip side, today there was unemployment claims, and we look into unemployment claims today that happened, and also there was the British pound. They have GDP monthly GDP announcement, which was it looked good, 0.3%, while unemployment claims was at 193, which looks good for the job market. Hold on for me, my kids are fighting. Okay, let's look at the H founder. But do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, as you're coming through. We're gonna go to day trading now. You're good, brother. We are good, brother. We are good, brother. What's up, man? Another year, another trying. Anyway, uh, as I said, unemployment claims today. Yeah. Okay. Today there was unemployment claims. Unemployment claims today. As I said, focus on unemployment claims was the focus was 215,000, and what came out was 198,000, which is good news. Which is good news for the labor market. We know the labor market is under a lot of pressure, and we've seen CPI cooling down or came out the same way as previously, which give room for the Fed to cut rates. And I've already spoken about this for the entire week, I think, that our focus is labor market, and we could look into inflation, but inflation looks to be stabilizing, and also so PPI also looks to be stabilizing. So we don't see much happening in that regard. That the Feds, I think, they'll still look into the labor market, but Trumpo, the labor market still looks a bit shaky. But for now, we have seen that today it came out 198, which it's a very good cooling in it. And that looks good for the first. When they look at this, for sure, they are smiling. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen going into the following. So for me, in the first quarter, my anticipation, we might get one rate cut just to stabilize everything. Um, and then we also have to look at GDP growth. I think yesterday we had a problem here, but let's see if it is updated. So the last GDP growth, the growth was at 4.3%, which I mean, yeah, which was a very good beat, I should say. And yesterday, as I said yesterday, we had retail sales, which was that's mainly retail, so yeah, which was I think it was up 0.6%. Yeah, Gen 14. I get confused. I don't know why I'm thinking in 2025. But retail sales was up 0.6%, which also was a good indication that there is still good consumer participation in the economy, which is good. I think it's good for the US market. I'm not gonna lie on that. But let's move ahead and speak about the fundamental uh, eco heat maps. Okay, I'm not gonna speak about the real yield today and the other stuff, but we will speak about who is this now? Market map, yes. So I'm gonna just look at the US economic heat map, looking at the most recent looking at the most recent data that came out. Um, I spoke about retail sale which beat expectation by zero point 0.1, which is very bullish for both stocks and the currency itself. PPI came out a bit high, which is a bit shaky for the stocks, but just indication a problem in inflation, but it's not a big problem for now. And wage growth, unemployment rate, unemployment claims, that was good with US initial jobless claims today, which it's also good. We got a cooling by 17,000, which is very bullish for both. And you'll want to see the labor market stabilizing. And when you see something like this, it looks good. I'm happy about that. Let's look at our top setup. I love talking about the top setup. I always talk about the top setup before we go into to the technicals and unfortunate trade that I missed. Let's go into the top setup. Here we go. In the top setup, we're starting to see Nasdaq, Russell, starting to pick up some form, starting to be bullish again. But look at the CHF; it's leading the charts. It's one of the mostly short currencies for now. Nikkei is up as well in the bullish territory. On the bearish territory, we have GPP AUD, and let's just quickly look at the technicals and have our opinion in the technical. When it comes to Nasdaq, the technicals are showing us for now that it's starting to be bullish. Perhaps if a move like that, maybe you could look into buying Nasdaq. Come back lower to hold that support. Perhaps you can buy Nasdaq to target higher prices and go to the all-time high. And Russell is leading the charts in terms of technicals. Look at that. If you got Russell there, you are smiling. I think from support, from support, uh, from support to the high now it is up 7%, all-time high in Russell. Joe Trumpo. Dow Jones is following suit. US30 is following suit. S&P 500. Also, we might get an all-time high closure today. But that's it for the indices. I'm not really focusing on it. I think my main focus will be GPP AUD as I missed the trade, which is it's very painful to miss such a trade. To miss such a trade. To miss such a trade. I spoke about this on Monday that I'm looking into having a limit. I had my buy limit just above 3-4 pips away, and it's just rejected and started taking down to my take profit. Which yeah, there's nothing much I can say about it. Perhaps I might move to that support to look for a re-entry, but to get to hope for about 0.7 move for now. It's a stretch, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna wait with you guys and see what's gonna happen. I think maybe British pound. That's what I'm waiting for. And also, let's still confirm another pair. I'm waiting for Euro JPY. I'm looking into buying the European Euro JPY. Sorry, technicals is still bullish, which giving a +6 reading. So I'm still gonna contemplate. I still have my limit just above, just at 183.360. That's where my buy limit is. I'm hoping for more upside in Euro JPY. While speaking about Euro JPY, let's just quickly look at the technical, the economic heat map in that space. Looking for the economic heat map. Euro. Oh God. Look at how bullish the euro is. In January, we only got unemployment rate, which is was very bullish for the stock. It's down to 6.3%, while PPI it was down by 0.2%. It's bullish for the currency itself. So in the currency side, euro is doing well. So I could definitely look into buying into the euro. But now I am buying euro against JPY. I'm just gonna look at that. And I think also JPY it's a very strong currency right now. Possibilities. I saw a headline. I beg to be corrected. That spoke about they are looking into changing things slightly. They'll be focusing on the weakness of the Japanese yen. That's a BOJ that will be focusing on the weakness of the Japanese yen. Maybe that will shift things because it's also bullish as well. But so far, if the H fund is still giving me a bullish reading, I am happy to look into buying it. I'm not even gonna change. So I'm waiting for a retest in that space. Just do not forget to like and subscribe. NZDJPY is not my best bet, but I'll look into China 50 and UTC. USDCHF is also bullish. So let's see. NZDJPY is not my cup. Also, as I said, I'm gonna look for lower prices here, just for better risk to reward. I'm still waiting. I'm just gonna I'm gonna be very careful with it. But USDCHF, let's see. Look at that. Not even gonna attempt to say I'm looking for longs. Anyway, yeah. Not even gonna attempt to buy this. I'm just gonna wait. I have no interest in buying this. Um, let's look at China 50. I'm interested in having China 50. Honestly, they're not far from my entry price. So I'm looking for that price to be entered on China 50. So I'll be waiting for that price to tap into it. Okay, I think for me, I think there's the end of the first session where I speak about macros and everything that has been happening in the macro space. Um, I am gonna move along into what am I doing here? What the hell is this? Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry. Mm. My tide is getting tired now. But let's look at the day trading side. Let's quickly do our analysis and see what we have missed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, man. Previous daily low. I could be looking for continuation today. Yesterday we got a good trade just before market closure, even though I ended the live earlier, but I did show you where my limits were, and there was a good direction, was a very good trade. Just happened before market closure. Sometimes focus a lot when I do my analysis. I think a retest here is an overstretch, eh? It's an overstretch looking for that low. I will tell you what I'm looking for per se. I'm just quickly trying to figure out where the point of reaction, because you could get a rejection there and come, oh, look at that, and come all the way down to retest that and look for a continuation. Trompo, no, no. Then if you're thirsty, drink water. Okay. So previous daily high, we held the previous daily high. We have just taken the previous daily. We have held the previous daily low. We have just taken out the previous daily high. So, but drink water. And you can't be speaking to me like that. You can't be speaking to me like that, Nana. So, as I was saying, we held that we could move lower to get that reaction in the PM session. But, and when you look at, I really need to mark this higher. That could have marked a sweep here. Oh, come on. That could have marked a sweep here. And then we look for lower prices. Guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Before you leave your comment, tell me what you think. Yeah, drink water, guys. All right. Possibility of this lower prices? I think there's possibility of this lower prices here. Yeah, I am more comfortable into looking into coming back to this lower prices. Can we get a move lower to that? Oh, sorry, I was just quickly focusing here. I'm looking for these lower prices, but will be determined by the 4 hour for the 15 minutes time frame. I think looking at, okay, I know what I'll be looking for. I'm looking for shorts. Gidinga ukuya phansi. I am gonna look for shorts, yeah. It's funny. You're funny. You. So there is like an SMT between, yeah, let me see. You funny. Okay. You take up, Nana. That's good, my boy. So there is an SMT. Yeah. I winner. I think I'm gonna take Nasdaq. It's a bit weak today on the on the PM session. So Nasdaq it's weak. It's holding this 15 minutes fair value gap here, which I love. Could the market have moved away from me? I don't know. But let's see. Gonna look to target this low here. Just before the power hour. We all know what happens during the power hour. So you are holding that 15 minutes fair value gap. Perhaps you could look to come back to that low, for which I want to mark this low here as my target. Let's see what we have. Ooh, look at that. And there is a 5 minutes above here. Above there's a 5 minutes fair value gap. Okay. I love S&P 500 has held that 5 first. I think I'm going to look for continuation lower. Should I jump on the market now? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. But let's look at what happened here. I'm interested in Nasdaq. Can I wait for a move like this? Trade below here with gold decisive move. If I get that, I am going to look to short to that low because there is some sort of trend line here, liquidity here, staying around this lows here. Doesn't matter how you want to market, whether you want to market like that. Honestly, it doesn't matter for me. Just feel like there is possibilities of the market going short. So I'm gonna just use this possibilities of the market going short here. Gonna be waiting for something like this. Yeah, there's nothing here. Okay, I'm more interested in Nasdaq to be honest. It held that for a look at, but that move was quite huge. So let me just watch Nasdaq. I'm gonna be watching Nasdaq for something like this. Question is, can Nasdaq break below this low before the previous daily low, hold below it? I'm going to look for a trade somewhere to come back to that low. So that's what I'm waiting for. Waiting for that move. Whoa, look at this, man. Yo, yeah, ne? How many pips down? As I said, so I was looking for this short. The market just tanked. Like this, it's a terrible tank. I was hoping as it rejects there to come back. I felt like that was overstretched for me to just jump in that fair value gap. So I was waiting for that retracement. But look at that, man. Look at this. It's already down 30 points. 30 pips. Ah, there's nothing. Oh no, it's out. It's gone. I think I'm gonna remove my limit here because I was looking for shorts here. So I'm gonna remove my limits here. Oh, look at that. It's done. Yeah. So I was looking for a retracement to the upside, but the market just was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm not gonna give you that. I am just gonna go down," and went straight to take profit. But let's see what else we can get before we end the stream tonight. I'm gonna end the stream early. Yo, is there earnings now? Is there earnings now? Yeah, yeah. Is there earnings now? I need to follow up with that. Okay. Gonna mark this again as a sweep of liquidity. Let me mark that. But my question is there earnings? Why such aggressive moves? Why local orange? Yeah? You know what I love? They are hearing you on the stream. So as I said, maybe this 1 hour for really cap could be coming to that, but hey man, that move was hectic. What's happening here? Let me see. Let me check the earnings calendar. Is there earnings today? I honestly don't know. I mean, I know it's earnings season, there's earnings, but I'm saying tonight, let me just rephrase my thing. I'll let you know. No. We'll look at the calendar. Earnings calendar, yeah. Industries have just announced earnings. We have two more to be announced. For seasonal education, Brookmount. So I don't think this will be moving so much. Okay. But let's see after the sweep here what happens. Hmm. Will I be coming to that low? Just wanna see. Could we be coming to the AM session low? Because we have taken out such a high. Could we be coming to a AM session low? Uh, but after the sweep, we are rejecting. Mm. I'm just looking at that high inversion fair value gap. I mean, fair value gap, and I'm looking at that inversion. Perhaps if we can get this 1 minute inversion, uh, maybe you could say attempt just above the, wherever it would close above the inversion fair value gap, and look for this high. Look for that high. Trumpo. Put my phone in the charger. No. Yes. Can you please take my phone and put it on the charger? Thank you. Yeah, it's my iPhone. I'm not gonna give it to you. No. No. Yeah? You want my phone on Sunday? What do you wanna do with my phone on Sunday? Why? No, you don't have to. It's my phone. No. No. Can you please put from my phone on the charger? Thursday. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've taken my decision. I am gonna look for longs here. For shorts here. Not gonna attempt longs. This will be my shots. Yep. That will be my shot. Can I take shots? Yeah. Can you take shots? Yeah. I have not taken this trade, honestly, to be honest. I'm just wondering if you could take shots there on S&P 500. Because it's the weaker one. Guess it's a strong one. Got a good retracement to the upside. And it looks, oh, shucks. While I'm still contemplating a trade, it's going. But let's see. And I take, oh, God. I'm still thinking. Let me think. Is it a good idea to take, is it a good idea to take S&P 500? Think with me, guys. Let me think. Yeah, it was a good idea. That was a good idea. It is a good idea. Ladies and gentlemen, A man like me has to call it a day early today. Sorry. A man like me has to call it a day. Look at that trade, man. If that's strong, yeah. A better risk to reward was Nasdaq S&P 500. So this will be a good trade, man. Now you will be moved to break even and then allow the trade to play it out. So it's a good trade. It's a definite good trade. Yeah, move to break even, allow the trade to play itself now. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, um, a man like me has to call it a day early today. I have other things to do, but I've been with you as promised. As I promised that today I'll leave early. I think the trade is going well, but I'll call it a day early. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and just tell me your opinion, man, about the live. And also after the live stream, just go back, watch the live, and just see how I am, and just tell me what to improve. And in terms of my trading, my live stream quality, will improve a lot in due time. But for now, let's do with what we have. Trade is going well. Right. The trade's long good, man. Look at that. Look at that. Uh, let's see. Minus to two already. Wow. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I think if you're on the trade, I'm not gonna wait for the trade to end. I I gotta bounce. I have just a few things to do, but you saw the analysis from start to finish and what I was looking at. If you didn't, go 5 minutes back, see what I was analyzing and why potentially in S&P 500 could be a better one compared to Nasdaq, because Nasdaq was the most impulsive one. At the beginning was the weaker one. Maybe that's why the move was a bit aggressive lower, and it could be aggressive higher. And what might happen if it decides to do something like that? It's a continuation to break above, leave a fair value gap above here. You could look to go long again to look for those highs again. There is that possibility, but overall, shorts are shorts. I'm gonna hold the short throughout, break even and hold it like that, break even and hold it, either break even or take profit. But also, if you target a 1:2, you should be already up, but an overall trade will be add to that low. Other than that, those are the things. You see what reaction I was waiting for. Look at that reaction. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't matter now. I'm on the trade. And if you sit on the trade, you're not going to do anything. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, the trade is weird. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. And this is why we trade the New York close. This where positioning happens. Fundamentals as set the directions, liquidity says the trap. You know what SMC says. But anyway, what I was saying was fundamentals set the direction, liquidity says the trap, and price delivers the entries. What Wall Street just did will matter for the global markets right now. And let's see what JSC holds for us tomorrow. With my most interest tomorrow will be Sasol and Mr. Price. But anyway, you know how we close it. Protect capital, trade with intention. I'll see you in the next New York close. That will be tomorrow. Have a great day. I love you all. Peace.